Now more than ever, keeping up with the world means keeping up with computer technology and software. The PC Video Collection is proud to present this video tutorial.
Hello and welcome to this video tutorial, Learning Windows 95 Secrets and Time Savers. I'm Catherine Sparks along with Virgil Ritchie.
Because of the great impact that Windows 95 has had on the computer industry, it's important to learn how to operate productively in its environment.
This video will show you secrets and time savers that can be used to work more efficiently on your computer. In this video, we'll learn about the desktop and desktop icons, then examine shortcut menus.
We'll create new shortcuts on the desktop, in folders, and embed shortcuts into an application. We'll use the right mouse button to open shortcut menus as well as its keyboard alternative.
We'll create a new folder and learn keyboard and Windows operations.
We'll demonstrate some keyboard shortcuts. Then we'll learn to minimize, then restore all open windows at the same time.
Then we'll customize Windows 95 and the Start menu, and we'll examine different properties.
Next, we'll demonstrate and discuss the Windows 95 Explorer. We'll demonstrate features such as quick viewing a file and quick copying a file.
Finally, we'll explain the Windows 95 briefcase, then demonstrate the briefcase utility. In this chapter, we'll be demonstrating shortcuts available in Windows 95 that will increase productivity.
These include creating shortcut icons on the desktop and in folders. This allows us to enter an item or application right from the desktop without having to search through a number of menus.
We'll begin at the Windows 95 desktop. First, let's take a look at the icons on the desktop. Clicking the right mouse button or right-clicking with an item highlighted or on the desktop itself opens up a shortcut menu. This gives us options for changing properties of the item or desktop, as well as creating new folders or new shortcuts. This shortcut menu can also be opened for a highlighted icon or item by pressing the Shift plus F10 keystroke combination. For example, with the My Computer icon highlighted, we press Shift plus F10 and the menu appears. The desktop shortcut menu can also be accessed by pressing Shift plus F10 if nothing on the desktop is selected or highlighted. Usually it's more efficient to right-click in this situation. Windows 95 gives us the option of creating our own shortcuts to programs and applications. This limits the time spent going through several menus for programs and applications.
We can also use shortcuts to open or edit frequently used documents. We can open the application as well as the document itself without having to open the application, then search for the document.
Shortcuts are represented by icons. These icons point to the particular file, folder, or application that it was created for. A shortcut icon is identified by the jump arrow located on the lower left of the icon. We can create shortcuts several different ways. First, we can right-click our mouse on a blank area on the desktop. Then we choose New, then Shortcut. At the Create Shortcut dialog box, we can type the location and name of the item we want a shortcut for, or we can click the Browse button and search for the item that way. We click on Browse. We double-click on Windows, then on Start menu. Next, we double-click Programs and highlight the item, Windows Explorer, then click Open. We click Next, type a name for the shortcut Explorer, then click the Finish button. We now see the new shortcut on our desktop. We can now double-click the icon to open the item without going through several menus.
An efficient way to use shortcuts is to create a new folder on the desktop. Then we can create shortcuts to the items and applications we use the most and place them within the folder.
First, let's create a new folder. We'll right-click the mouse button in a blank area on our desktop. Next, we'll choose New, then Folder. Let's name our new folder Quick Pick. We press Enter to open the folder. Let's right-click with the new folder open, then choose New, then Shortcut from the pop-up menu that appears. Again, we can either type the location and name or click Browse and search for the item. Here we'll type open quotation marks C:\Windows\start space menu\accessories\WordPad closed quotation marks. We click Next and select a name for the shortcut, then click Finish. Our shortcut is placed in the new folder we have open. Let's create another shortcut. We follow the same procedure as before. Another way of creating a shortcut in a folder is by dragging a program icon into the folder. First, let's locate a program or application to create a shortcut for. We'll use the display item located in the control panel of our My Computer icon. We right-click and drag the display item to our Quick Pick folder. When we release the mouse, a shortcut menu appears. We choose the first option, Create Shortcuts, here, and the shortcut is created. Let's close the 3 open windows by pressing Alt plus F4 3 times. You may pause the tape now to practice on your computer. A productive shortcut to create is one for our printer. We can then drag whatever file we want printed and drop it onto the printer shortcut icon.
First, let's open My Computer by double-clicking its icon. Now let's open the printer folder, and we see our Panasonic printer icon at the bottom of the list. To make the shortcut to the desktop, we right-click and drag the printer icon to a blank area on the desktop. Now we select the Create Shortcut Here option, and we see the new shortcut. We'll close the printers and My Computer items, then open Windows Explorer. With the learning disk in the proper drive, ours is A, we click the 3.5 floppy icon in the left pane of Explorer. Our learning files appear in the right pane. Now let's drag the Explorer box down to see the new shortcut. We drag the Notes learning file and drop it into the printer shortcut we just created. The application the file was created in opens along with the file and is printed automatically. After the file is printed, we are returned to the Windows Explorer. Now let's open the MS-DOS window. We'll resize the MS-DOS window and the Explorer windows beside each other so we can work in and view both windows. We can still use old DOS commands in the MS-DOS window. Let's make a directory. At the root directory, we type md secret and press enter. We see in the DOS window that a directory is created. In our Explorer window, we see that a folder is created. This is an example of directories and folders in Windows 95. Let's delete the directory in our DOS window. We type deltree secret and press enter. We answer yes at the prompt. The directory is deleted from DOS as well as from Windows 95. We close both windows by double-clicking their control icons. We'll try another printing shortcut and time saver. Let's open the application. We open WordPad from our Quick Pick folder. Now let's create a sample document. We'll type, Dear Mr. Lee. Thank you for sending our evaluation of Windows 95 training. It is very helpful. Sincerely, Ed Hafab. Let's print our file. We choose to print one copy, but our printer is offline. We receive an error message. Let's click Retry. Again, we receive an error message. If we simply bring our printer online, Windows 95 automatically prints our document without having to go through the printing steps again. Now let's close WordPad. Then Quick Pick by pressing Alt plus F4. One thing to remember about shortcuts is that a shortcut can be deleted without affecting the item it is pointing to.
When a shortcut is deleted, it's placed into the recycle bin. If the recycle bin is emptied, the item the shortcut was pointing to is unaffected.
Shortcuts are created for better productivity and navigation in Windows 95. Shortcuts can be created and placed in the program folders on the desktop and can also be embedded in applications.
Let's embed a shortcut into WordPad. With our Quick Pick folder open, we click the shortcut icon for WordPad. WordPad is opened. And then to embed a shortcut, we click and drag a shortcut icon and drop it onto the application workspace. For example, let's drag and drop our Media Player shortcut onto the workspace of WordPad. After a few minutes, an icon is created on the WordPad document. Now we can type a memo with the embedded shortcut for other employees to use or to use ourselves without making unnecessary moves. We double-click the embedded shortcut icon and the item or application opens to be used. We close all open windows. You may pause the tape now to practice on your computer. Let's review what we've covered in this chapter. We demonstrated right-clicking the mouse with an item highlighted to open shortcut menus.
Next, we use Shift plus F10 to access the same menu from the keyboard. We also used Shift plus F10 with nothing selected or highlighted, accessing the shortcut menu for the desktop.
We created a shortcut for our Windows Explorer. We created a new folder, then created 3 shortcuts, placing them in the folder.
Then we created a shortcut for our printer. We placed the printer shortcut on our desktop, then dropped a file onto the shortcut icon and printed the file.
Finally, we created an embedded shortcut in WordPad.
If several applications are running at once, Windows 95 lets us switch tasks.
Task switching is the process of moving from one program to another using keystrokes or the taskbar. In the next demonstration, we'll be using Windows 95 WordPad and Paint along with the Windows 95 calculator. The calculator can be found from the Start menu, through Programs, then Accessories.
We'll begin by opening WordPad, then Paint, then the calculator. We see that every item we open has a command button on the taskbar at the bottom. Now let's try task switching. One way to task switch is to click on the desired command button on the taskbar. Another way is to press the Alt plus Tab key combination. We can choose which application to switch to by pressing Alt and repeatedly pressing Tab. Each time we press Tab, one of the icons is highlighted. We simply release the keys when the desired program icon is highlighted. An easier way than this is to press Alt plus Escape. This switches the programs in the order of the command buttons on the taskbar without any pop-up windows. As we discussed earlier in the chapter, clicking on the desired program command button on the taskbar performs task switching. Another way to do this is by pressing Ctrl plus Escape to open the Start menu, then pressing the Escape key to deselect the button. If we press Tab, we are able to use the left and right arrow keys to move between the buttons on the taskbar. Pressing Enter or the space bar activates the command button and switches to that particular application.
Let's try some more productive keystroke combinations. As we just demonstrated, pressing Ctrl plus Escape opens the Start menu. This is true wherever we are in Windows 95. With WordPad still open, we'll close Calculator and Paint. One way to close a window is by clicking the Close button, or we can use Alt plus Spacebar. With Paint activated, we press Alt plus Spacebar and we see a pop-up menu. From here, we can close the application as well as move, size, minimize, and maximize the window. We press C to close the window. We can also close an application or item by pressing Alt plus F4. With the calculator activated, we press Alt plus F4 and we see the item close. Let's open 3 more items. The MS-DOS prompt, Notepad, and the clipboard viewer. We click on the Start menu to activate it. We go through Programs and select MS-DOS prompt. The MS-DOS prompt window opens, and we find Notepad and the clipboard viewer in the Accessories submenu. Let's organize our screen a little better. We can right-click on an empty area of the taskbar, or we can press Control plus Escape, then Escape plus Tab, then Shift plus F10 to open the taskbar pop-up menu. At the pop-up menu, let's choose Cascade. The application windows are cascaded across the desktop. Let's right-click on an empty area of the taskbar and choose Tile horizontally. The windows are now organized into 4 neat areas of the desktop. Again, we right-click on the taskbar. Let's choose Minimize All Windows. All open items are minimized to the taskbar. We can restore the application windows by right-clicking on the taskbar and choosing Undo Minimize All. The application windows are restored to the desktop in their previous state. With a lot of applications open, the taskbar can at times be crowded. We can resize the taskbar by placing our cursor near the edge until our cursor becomes a 2-headed arrow. We click and drag upwards. Now we've created 2 rows on our taskbar. Let's minimize all windows again. You may pause the tape now. Let's review what we've covered in this chapter. We discussed keystroke operations.
We accessed the Start menu and learned about task switching with the taskbar.
We used Alt plus Tab and Alt plus Escape as other methods of task switching. Next, we accessed the taskbar and maneuvered across the command buttons with our arrow keys.
We opened several items in Windows 95, then used the taskbar pop-up menu to organize our desktop windows.
Finally, we resized the taskbar, creating 2 rows for command buttons.
In this chapter, we're going to customize some areas of Windows 95.
We can customize areas such as the Start menu and the taskbar. We'll begin by selecting the Start button. When the Start menu appears, we choose Settings, then Taskbar. This process can be shortened by right-clicking on the taskbar, then selecting Properties. This produces the same result, the Taskbar Properties dialog box. We want to work with the Start menu first, so we click the Start menu Programs tab. We customize the Start menu by clicking the Add button. This brings up the Create Shortcut dialog box. As we did in the previous chapter, let's click Browse, then double-click the Windows folder. Now let's highlight Defrag and click Open. We click Next, then select the folder to place the shortcut in. Since we're working with the Start menu, we'll select it. We select Next, we accept the name for the shortcut, then click Finish. Let's take a look at the changes. We press Control plus Escape and the Start menu opens. We see the new item at the top of the menu. We'll press Escape to close the menu. Now let's click the Advanced button. Windows 95 Explorer opens and we see the contents of the Start menu on the right. From here we can easily customize the Start menu using keyboard and mouse combinations. We can move an item or create a shortcut of an item. Let's move an item. First, we'll double-click Programs, then Accessories. Now let's click and drag the Paint application and drop it onto the Start menu folder. We then see an animated dialog box telling us that Paint is being moved from the Accessories menu to the Start menu. Let's double-click Multimedia. Let's create another shortcut for the Start menu. To do this, we right-click and drag the item to the Start menu. At the pop-up dialog box, we select Create Shortcuts here. We press Control plus Escape and see the Start menu with the 3 new items at the top. We'll press Escape Then double-click the Close icon in the upper left-hand corner of the Explorer window. We click the Close button to close the Taskbar Properties window.
Let's examine some of Windows 95 properties. These properties include desktop, shortcut, and mouse properties.
To open the Display Properties dialog box, we right-click in a blank area on the desktop, then choose Properties at the pop-up menu. The first tab, Background, allows us to choose a different desktop pattern. The second tab, Screensaver, allows us to activate Windows 95 screensaver capabilities. We can click the down arrow in the Screensaver dialog box and choose from a variety of screensavers. We can preview the screensaver by highlighting one and viewing the small monitor. The Setting button allows us to customize the screensaver by changing its characteristics such as speed and color. We press Escape to go back to the Display Properties box. Clicking the Preview button allows us to view the screensaver at full screen. We press Escape to go back to the Display Properties box. The Appearance tab contains items for changing the color scheme of the desktop. We can choose from several different schemes Windows 95 gives us, or we can create our own scheme. Settings, the last tab, lets us see how the current settings will look on the screen. We can easily change our display type by clicking the Change Display Type button, then selecting a new display type. Let's press Escape twice and we'll return to the desktop. Now let's take a look at shortcut properties. We open our Quick Pick folder and right-click on the Media Player shortcut icon. Next, we select Properties. The Media Player Properties dialog box appears. The General tab displays information such as file type, size, creation dates, and attributes. We can give an item attributes such as read-only, archive, and hidden. Let's click the Shortcut tab. This tab displays information such as target type, target location, and the target item itself. The Start In box specified the folder that contains the original item or files relating to that item. You may pause the tape now. Sometimes programs need to use files located in different areas.
We may need to specify the folder where these files are located for the program to find them. The Shortcut Key field allows us to define a keyboard shortcut to start or switch to the program from Windows. This shortcut key must include Control and/or Alt and another key. For example, we can use Control plus I or Alt plus Y. We cannot, however, use Escape, Enter, Tab, Spacebar, Print Screen, or Backspace.
If our shortcut key conflicts with another already in a Windows program, the shortcut key won't work. The Run field specifies how we want the window to display the item when the shortcut is open. For example, we can specify the item to be displayed in a normal window, this is standard, or a minimized or maximized window. We can also change the icon by clicking the Change Icon button. The Change Icon dialog box appears with a list of different icons to choose from. We simply select a different icon and click OK. We won't change our icon right now, but instead, let's press Escape twice and exit both dialog boxes. Let's open My Computer, then open the Control Panel folder. We enlarge the box to see additional choices. Let's double-click the mouse item. We see the Mouse Properties dialog box appear. The first tab, Buttons, allows us to change button configuration and double-click speed. We can change from a right-handed configuration where the left button is normal and the right button opens context menus to the left-handed configuration where the roles are reversed. We can change the double-click speed by moving the slider to a position on the slider bar. After we drag the slider, we can test the double-click speed by double-clicking the image in the Test Area window. Let's click the Pointers tab. The first area, Scheme, lists a set of mouse pointers we can use. Each pointer shape in the scheme is a visual cue card, indicating what Windows is doing or what we can do in a granted context. When we change a pointer scheme, the window to the right and the pointer images at the bottom of this window show us what the pointers will look like. The mouse pointers in the bottom window show us the mouse pointer that makes up the selected scheme at the top. We can change the appearance of a pointer by selecting, then clicking the Browse button. Now we can double-click the file name of a different pointer from the list that appears.
If no pointers appear, we can double-click the Add Remove Programs item in the Control Panel and install optional mouse pointers.
Let's continue with mouse properties. Let's press Escape and click the Motion tab. This tab allows us to adjust the speed at which our pointer moves on the screen. We adjust the pointer speed by moving the slider either left or right on the slider bar. We can also add trails to the pointer. If we're using an LCD screen, adding pointer trails makes the mouse pointer easier to see. Let's click the Show Pointer Trails box. We can change the length of the trail by dragging the slider either right for long pointer trails or left for short pointer trails. To save the changes, we click Apply. We deselect pointer trails. Let's click the General tab. The General tab shows us what type of mouse we're using. Now we can set up a new mouse by clicking Change. So let's press Escape to exit mouse properties. Then close all open windows by clicking the Control icon. You may pause the tape now. Let's review what we've covered in this chapter. We learned to customize Windows 95. We customized the Start menu, then examined some Windows 95 properties.
We showed display, shortcut, and mouse properties.
In this chapter, we're going to examine Windows 95 Explorer in more detail.
We worked with Explorer a little in Chapter 2, but now we're going to learn productivity techniques for everyday work.
Let's begin our exploration. Earlier, we created a shortcut to Explorer in Chapter 1. We double-click the Explorer shortcut icon and the program is opened. With Explorer, we can perform operations such as changing drive properties, quick formatting floppies, quick copying, and quick viewing files. To change drive properties, we right-click on the drive that we want to work with. So let's right-click on the C drive, and then a shortcut menu appears. Here we select Properties. The C: Properties dialog box appears. In the General tab, we can change the label of our C drive, and we can also view information such as used space, free space, and the capacity of our C drive. Let's click the Tools tab. The Tools tab contains operations we can perform to our C: drive, such as checking for errors, backing up data, and defragmentation. Each area also lets us know how long ago the particular operation was used. Let's press Escape. To quick format a floppy, we right-click on the 3.5 floppy A drive and choose Format. We can choose the different capacities of disks by clicking the down arrow in the capacity box. We change the format type by choosing one of the 3 format type options. We can also create a label for the disk. We'll press Escape to return to Explorer. Let's copy our learning disk files. First, let's create a new folder to place the files in. We open the File menu, choose New, then Folder. We'll name the folder Learning. We type Learning and press Enter. Now we place the learning disk in the proper drive. Ours is A. We click on the 3.5 floppy A: item in the left pane. The files appear in the right pane. So to select all files on the disk, we press Ctrl+A. Now let's right-click, then drag the files onto the learning folder. The files are copied to the folder. If we right-click on the floppy A item in the left pane, we're able to copy diskette to diskette. This is similar to the DOS disk copy command. Windows 95 Explorer lets us quickly copy a file to another subdirectory. For example, we click on our DOS folder to view the contents in the right pane. We select a file to copy. We right-click the command file, then choose Copy from the pop-up menu. Now we need to click on the folder where we want the file to be copied to. So we'll right-click the Learning folder, and from the pop-up menu we choose Paste. The file is copied into the Learning folder. Let's learn to quick view files. Quick viewing files can be helpful if we're searching for a file and we're pressed for time.
To quick view a file, we right-click on the file we want to quick view. We'll use bball from our Learning folder as the file. We choose Quick View from the pop-up menu. The file opens. We can edit the file by clicking the first button on the toolbar. Clicking this actually opens the file and the application the file was created in for editing. Let's double-click the Close icon in the upper left-hand corner of the Quick View window. Explorer also allows us to quick print files. Again, we right-click our file we want to quick print. From the pop-up menu, we choose Print. The application opens and begins printing the document. When the document starts printing, the application closes, and we are returned to the Explorer window. Let's learn to create a file type that isn't registered in Windows 95. If we have a file and want the program to open it when double-clicked, we need to create a file type.
To create a file type, we first need to select the file. Let's select sample3.dat from our Learning folder. Now we open the View menu, then choose Options. At the Options menu, we click the File Types tab. We'll click New Type and place an insertion point in the Description of Type box. We type Data File and press Tab. In the associated extension box, we type .dat. Now we need to create a new action for the file. We click the New button to see the New Action dialog box. In the Action dialog box, we type Open. Let's press Tab and enter the application used to perform the action. Here, let's click Browse. Now we select our C drive, then double-click the Windows folder. We double-click the command folder, select Edit, and click Open. We click OK, then on Close. Close once more and return to Explorer.
Let's see if it works.
We double-click the file and the application opens along with the file. Let's maximize the window by double-clicking the title bar.
We close all applications. Let's review what we've covered in this chapter. We learned about the Windows 95 Explorer. We learned how to change drive properties, then showed how to quickly format a floppy.
Next, we demonstrated how to copy files from a disk to a computer. We also learned to copy from disk to disk.
We copied a file from a folder to another folder, then quick viewed a document.
We quick printed a document and finally created a new file type. Windows 95 includes a file synchronization utility called the briefcase.
The briefcase is used for people who use portable PCs with a desktop PC or when connecting to a network.
The Windows 95 briefcase allows us to keep files up to date, such as notes, financial reports, or business projects between two PCs. After the briefcase software is installed on a portable PC, we can specify which files we want to keep updated. First, let's right-click on the desktop, choose New, then Briefcase. We double-click New Briefcase. Since this is the first time we're using this option, a Welcome to the Windows Briefcase appears. This tells us the 4 easy steps in using Windows Briefcase. The steps are to drag our important files or directories into the briefcase. Next, we take the briefcase with us when we travel by placing it in our laptop.
We can also drag the briefcase onto our floppy disk. Now we make changes to either the files in the briefcase or to the original files.
The last step is to click the Update All command. This command is in the briefcase menu. This brings our files up to date.
We click Finish and we see the new briefcase icon on the desktop. Let's use the briefcase. First, we open Windows Explorer. We click on the Learning folder we created earlier. Let's select the Notes file as a file we want to keep updated. We drag Notes and drop it onto the new briefcase icon. For an example, let's open the briefcase, then double-click the Notes file. We'll make some changes. We'll add 10 o'clock p.m. electricity at office went out. Make sure all computer files are backed up. We'll save the changes we made and close the file. Now we open the briefcase menu and choose Update All. The Update New Briefcase dialog box appears. We click Update, and the file's updated from the briefcase to the Learning folder. Now let's see if the file was really updated. We close New Briefcase, then right-click on Notes. Now let's choose Quick View. We see that the file's been updated. Let's press Alt plus F4 twice to close all open windows. Let's review what we've covered in this chapter. We learned about the Windows 95 briefcase option.
We examined what the briefcase does. Then we created a new briefcase. We then dropped one of our learning files into the briefcase.
We opened the file and made some changes. Then we used the Update All option and clicked Update and made sure the changes took effect. That review concludes this video tutorial, Learning Windows 95 Secrets and Time Savers.
We've covered a lot of information in this tutorial. If you feel the need to review, simply rewind the video and watch that section again until you're comfortable with the material.
We at VIA Graphics would like to thank you for choosing our company for your computer training needs.
Remember, if you plan to learn Windows 95 or any other computer software, there's no better way than through video training with VIA Graphics.